Look, I see mansions in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back. Man, he black, he look like us. I see it, I see it, I see it, I see it, I see it.
We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat, as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. First and foremost, we are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Officer Matthew.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
Hey, look, before we go to the Watchman Report, I need everybody that watches the show to please share this. We are broadcasting from IUIC New Orleans YouTube page. I need everybody to funnel traffic there and make sure that we're growing IUIC New Orleans, all right? It's not going to be on. Apparently, I found out IUIC in the Classroom 2 is down. So until IUIC in Classroom 2 comes back up, we are going to be broadcasting solely on IUIC New Orleans. So you need to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and share. Share it to people that are interested in a comment. So like we always do, new format. Okay, we're going to go right to Officer Micah with the Watchman Report. Take it away.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. I'm not going to hold up the show. Let's get right into it. Pray for our tech team, y'all. Destructive tornado sweeps across Texas during multi-day severe weather threat. Let's keep our family in Texas in prayer, all right? Most High is doing his work. Next article, please. Exclusive. U.S. government agencies hit in global cyber attack. It's going down, y'all. All we got is these commandments. Let's keep them. Next article. Off-duty cop shoots his wife in the face with a rifle. Texas police chief says, the love of many shall wax cold in these last days, Israel. Let's keep each other in prayer. Let's keep the commandments. Next article. Man arrested while citing Bible verse in protest of Pride event. Then video evidence sinks case. So they let him go. He was reading the Bible and they locked him up. Crashed Las Vegas UFO witness terrified by 8-foot creature in his backyard, 100% not human. I thought when they saw angels, they were like, hey, man, you know, it's the Lord spoke to him, I guess, when they said it. But that dude was terrified. This concludes the Watchman Report.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, it's the Late Show. So like we always do, we start with the Watchman Report. Then we go to go over the thumbnail. We have the first half of the show. Then we go to Officer Mikael, which is the new segment, which is the Bible verse. Then we go to our break, IUIC, what's going on in IUIC. Come back, Kingdom Music, second half of the show, and then we go to the Lard back attack. All right, so let's get to the thumbnail, as we always do, about tonight's show. Officer Mikael.
So tonight's show, as you see, is destruction or deconstruction of the eagle's nest, instability, home and abroad. Up in the top where you see the stars and stripes, you got the different factors that cause this instability. You got geopolitics, you got risk, leadership conflicts, international conflicts. You have economic uncertainty, and you have BRICS, because you know the formulation of BRICS is at the forefront of all of this instability, both home and abroad, for the United States or the eagle's nest.
All praises. And destruction of the eagle's nest, because the eagle's nest is the United States of America. When you read in Obadiah, He will put his nests on the stars. Real quick, keep that up. Get me Obadiah chapter 1. Well, obviously, you know Obadiah is one book. You'll be surprised. A lot of brothers and sisters, I talked to on the 1-800 line today. I talked to a sister that she came in learning about us from just our TikTok videos. I took the time and talked to her on the phone. She didn't even know that we had a website. So just me taking the time to say, sis, you know we got more than just TikTok videos. A lot of people, the social media is spreading. I said, go to our website, check out www.israelunite.org. And then from there, all you might be watching for the first time, you can find out all the information about our high holy days, to include Feast of First Fruits, Passover, Tabernacles, and all the corresponding scriptures that help you understand. Plus, there's video links. If you have any information you want to know about where to congregate, what state, go there. A lot of people don't even understand the excellence of our website. Plus, if you go to YouTube, she thought it was only short videos. I said, look, if you go to YouTube, you can find hundreds of classes and go to the search engine and find out any topic you may be interested in. Go and check it out. IUIC, we are an organized nation, and we have structure and order in all things that we do, all right? And look, we want to get better, so if you have suggestions for this show, let us know. Shout out to Sister Sharon. Thank you, Sister Sharon. Shout out to Gigs over there in Austria, and shout out to Fat Mark. And we just hung out with your Fat Mark. Fat Mark is down another 13 pounds. Get me number 1. We're going to jump right into the show. All right? Yes. No, give me Dick Gregory. I'm sorry. Obadiah, then Dick Gregory. Yes, I'm sorry. Lost track. I'm about to drink an energy drink right now, y'all. Yeah.
The book of Obadiah, verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
This is talking about the so-called white man Esau in America. Read on.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock.
Right, that's why they call them Caucasians. They dwell in the clefts of the rock. That's why they build skyscrapers. Okay, there is many proofs that Esau has created the skyscrapers and other nations has followed him. Read on.
Whose habitation is high.
Right, the habitation is high. They like skyscrapers. They like to live up. They can live in space for a month at a time. That's when you black people, you astronauts go to space, you look out of place. Read on.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
The pomp and the pride, who shall bring me down? Well, tonight we're seeing that the eagle's nest is being deconstructed. Read on.
Though thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle.
Remember, the sign of the so-called white man back to ancient times has always been the eagle. And today you have the symbol of the Marine Corps is the eagle, globe, and acre. The symbol of the United States of America is the eagle. Is the eagle. Read on.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Now we know, remember the movie The Hulk, when he grabs the F-16, he's going up to the top of the stratosphere, whatever you call it, and he begins to lose oxygen. The same thing would happen to a regular bird. They can't fly up there. The nest is talking. It's not a wooden group of twigs. The nest it's talking about is his satellites, his space stations, things that he sets home up there, right? The space centers. Read on.
Thence will I bring thee down.
Right, and that's what Most High going to bring him down. Read on.
Said the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord. So, get me Dick Gregory, because Dick Gregory is a fiery brother. He's from the tribe of Judah, and this has nothing to do with tonight's show, but this is what we're supposed to be striving for in this truth. It's not so much that he doesn't quote the laws of God, but he's talking about a principle that as Israelites, we should not settle for here in this country. The things that we're taught, that he's talking about, filter it through the scriptures, and you should see what we should strive for. This brother, fire, play.
Reason we so messed up, never before have there been anyone that went through what we went through, slavery, discrimination, the whole thing, and then we opt for education over liberation. Now y'all play with that if you want. Liberation is close to the universal God. Education, any fool can put that book together. And y'all can sit there with all your PhDs. Oh, George Washington didn't beat up the damn British for the right to build a college. They was getting liberated. And then once you liberate, you build a college to what you like it to be, not what some white folks that's sending the money want it to be.
He said, once you get liberated, you build the college that you want. So this is why this is not our rest. Everything that we do in this truth is not our rest. We getting liberated, and we're going to build what we want. The Gentiles going to bring us riches. We're going to rule over them. They going to be our servants and handmaids. So when you put this work in, brothers, when you prophesy on the street, passing flyers out, radio shows. Look, even on this radio show, you've got the tech team, you've got support cast, you've got all these things that go on, and all is for the liberation so that we can rule. That's what it's all for. And I pray the Lord have mercy on Dick Gregory. Maybe he knew he was an Israelite. I'm not sure. But he was a black man who wanted strength, and he wanted his people to be free. And all praise to the Most High. Get to number one. We're going to roll on. I just wanted to share that with you to motivate you all. All right? Number one. So, first half of the show, we're going to look at the problems that are going on inside the United States of America, because the nest is crumbling from within, okay? Y'all all saw it, what happened on I-95 near Philadelphia, in the area of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Why is this so important? Because Interstate 95 is the artery, the most important lane of transport on the entire East Coast, okay? Play that.
Making progress. Chopper 6 was over the site of the collapsed portion of I-95 in Philadelphia's Tacony section, as plans to repair it are the top priority for transportation leaders.
This all as crews make quick work on the demolition. And happening tonight, we learned that authorities have positively identified the victim as the truck driver, Nathaniel Moody.
Tuesday night, I'm Shari Williams alongside Ray Hall. The big story on Action.
I didn't even see that part, but I believe that, and not shouting at the brother, Mr. Moody, but there's more to the story than this. There's more to the story, and I don't even know. I'm not even sure if this brother actually was the man driving, but that will, I guess, perhaps come out later on. We'll see. Play on.
Moody.
Tuesday night, I'm Shari Williams alongside Gray Hall. The big story on Action News tonight is the steady work to dismantle the portion of I-95 that was charred and badly damaged in that truck fire.
And soon we could learn just how long it will be until things return to normal. Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us near the scene there in Tacony with the very latest information tonight. Annie, what's the update?
Yeah, Gray and Shari, crews made good progress today, including with the demolition of the southbound lanes. And tomorrow we could get a better idea of how long this reconstruction could take.
So pause. I want us to understand that. That's all I wanted for this video. You have to understand that the fire was so bad, they had to destroy both the southbound and northbound lane. It burned, I believe, in the northbound. They had to destroy. So all of 95 now is impassable. So you have, and the reason why I say this is because think about all the trains that have been derailed, the chemicals that have spilled, and now by the way, the majority of the people in the United States live on the East Coast. I-95 connects the corridor of the busiest traffic lane in the United States. The most powerful country, the interstate highway of this country on 95 was split, has a breach in it. It directly affects commerce. You think, when has this ever happened before on 95 or a major highway where you have shut down the entire interstate? So go to the next one. We're going to stay on 95 for a minute because I believe that there's more behind this. I want you to think about it like this, right? I had to put it in perspective as I was thinking about the show. Out of all the patch of 95, right? The hundreds, the thousands of miles of track. If you were to break down in comparison how many miles actually have bridges and how many miles actually have regular. Because if this were to happen on a regular flatland, you could repair that in a day, right? It's just ironic. It's strange how it happens in a major city, on a major highway, on a bridge, and now the whole bridge gets shut down. When has this happened in history? A smaller bridge, fine, not a big deal. So this is something to think about. Now I'll play the next one. This is actual footage.
Right on 95 right now.
So now if you look here, there is 4 lanes there. So this is a major, I think, is this on the, let's see, okay. So this must be the southbound lane because the fire happened on the other side.
Look at that. Brush fire on I-95.
Oh my Lord. So just pause real quick. It happened on the other side, right? The highway that white car's on right now, that had to be torn down too. So I want you to understand, and we're about to go into some articles, and I want you to understand, I want us to just think about the timing of this happening with relation to the last, since COVID happened. Remember all the chicken factories, or not chicken factories, all the chicken farms, all of a sudden they're blowing up in the middle of the night? Think about what's really going on. I-95, the major interstate that connects from Maine to Florida in some of the busiest patterns of traffic in the U.S., and a tanker destroyed to the point where both north and southbound lanes have to be demolished. Play. Okay, so we can go to the next one. And I think we got some articles that we're going to show you.
So the fire was on top of the bridge on the other side?
It's going to show you, we're going to see, there's a couple other videos where we're going to actually see when it explodes and it slows it down.
Because it looked like the fire was coming from underneath the bridge as well. Yeah.
Because when the tanker, and it's the thing, those tankers are such a thick container. And this is the video where you're actually going to see the explosion. So we're going to see firsthand, all right? That's all right. I want us, we can just look. There it is. It's on the bridge. So it goes off onto the grass, it looks like. So it actually happened, it looks like, off a little bit off on the side of the bridge. And y'all gotta, it's too incredible.
Did they say what kind of chemicals was on the truck? Because it had to spill in order for that fire to stretch.
Watch
like that.
this, y'all.
It's a big tanker.
So that's actually a little bit off the bridge, close to it, but off the bridge. I'm telling you, y'all, the Esau is more than meets the eye.
So it took the exit and was going under the overpass and just exploded randomly.
If you look at it, it looks like a grassy area, right? See the grassy area, but it is elevated still because it directly affected the bridge, but even if it was off to the right. So do me a favor. This just came to my head. Can you look up, because I believe it's an oil tanker. Can you look up an oil tanker, the hell is the word? Oil tanker trailer and the thickness of the steel, because it's either heavy duty stainless steel. It's a very, very, they give the thickness and the specs on it, if you can find that. Those things are very, very, very hard to just ignite and spill like that. Something is, and they're going to blame it on the black man. What the heck? Okay, if you get it short, that's all right. Now, let's go to the next one. You could take some time to get that. We're going to come back to the tanker. Okay, there's some articles. We'll read an article, give you some time. Why is it important that we bring this out? Let's look at the I-95 importance of commerce and the necessity of why commerce is not necessity, but it's going to be affected tremendously. Corridors of the future. Federal Highway Administration. This is from the U.S. Department of Transportation. So, let me see. I-95 Corridor Coalition, the Florida, the corridors of the future funding. Project. Scroll up. This, I don't think this was it. Let me see something. Corridors. Let's do this. Statistic. I was wrong. It's only 2,000 miles. Let's read corridor status and then corridor statistics, and then we're done here. Please.
Corridor statistics. The entire I-95 corridor is one. Oh,
Yeah.
status.
Can you
status.
blow it up for Officer Micah? That's kind of.
Oh, sorry, status.
If you can't, don't worry about it. There you go.
Status. I-95 is a major north-south artery for tourist and freight traffic and carries people and goods into and out of states from Maine to Florida.
So when you look at a map, if you can get one, if not, we all know the map of the U.S. From Maine, which is the most northeastern state, which borders Canada, all the way down to the tip of Florida, which is the peninsula, which is the most southern state, other than probably Corpus Christi, Texas, and the hook of Texas. But you're talking about, it is, read on.
I-95 also functions as a major connection to other interstate and primary highways such as Interstate 10, Interstate 20, Interstate 40, Interstate 64, and Interstate 85.
So it is a major connector to other major highways. Watch this.
Beginning in 1956,
Pause right there. Show that map.
Yeah, it says it connects to I-10, I-20, and I-85. So that's obviously connecting to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Birmingham is I-20. 85 goes through Atlanta. It's all major cities all along that corridor.
So if you were a terrorist, right? If you were a terrorist, let's look at the map. What stands out visually to this? Well, clearly we can see that 95 is the longest highway. Just look, let's just look visually. 35, actually, well, 35 is pretty long itself. But 95 goes from the, look at the length. Maine is higher than Minnesota, than Seattle, Washington, right? Look how high it goes. And it goes all the way down. Actually, it is the longest highway. And it is the most populated. The eastern part of the country is far more populated than the western side of the country. So it's ironic that, and this is an average brother looks like, right? But how do we know that maybe whatever the case may be, but if they didn't purposely seal the load or somebody set him up where the load wasn't secured or it was a weak tank, and then something happens, anything could have happened to make this go down. And then they'll probably play it up like, oh, he was just a sleepy driver. But there's something more than that. The way that it happened to crash right there, right where a major bridge point is, and have to burn long enough where it shut down both the north and then they had to destroy the south lane. Because remember the first video we showed, the whole highway was destroyed. They had to break the whole thing down. Yes. You on point. Listen, y'all. Read.
body thickness. The general consensus of thickness is as follows: 12 gauge for steel trailers, 14 gauge for stainless steel ones, and 1/8 inch for aluminum tank trailers.
Okay, so for those of you who understand metal, I'm going to give you a breakdown because I used to work with sheet metal. When you see a duct that is in your house, it is usually, what the hell is it? I think it's 24 gauge. 20 gauge is thick. 18 gauge is substantially thicker. As you go down, 12 gauge steel is nothing to play with. And so if a truck were to tip over with fluid in it, it would take a whole lot. And it didn't roll down and drop 300 feet. The way that those tanks are made, for that to actually do what it did, something ain't right. I want you to understand that something is not right. What's going on here? Right. Okay, check it out. It's beautiful. See, you cannot accept every. Esau tell you this. Esau tell you that the white man is Santa Claus who can come down a chimney. We believe that crap. And a lot of us didn't have chimneys. Some of us did, some of us didn't. Then we believe the crap about Esau. You got to eat 3 times a day. We believe everything he tells. You actually want to think that he's going to tell us the truth about a tanker that destroyed I-95? And just a driver that was just sleepy and a black man. Come on, man. Let's look at the facts. Let's be investigative. Sherlock Holmes, actually, the white dude. Let's be the brothers that need to really look into this. Come on. Okay, so 12 gauge is, well, I'm not, honestly, I don't want to act like I know what I'm talking about. Just know this, that 12 gauge, if we can get can we get a actual scale, like to show like a ruler and what it would be? And that might be asking too much. Because I want you to understand, if you look at 12 gauge, it's in millimeters or it's in centimeters. It's really, and you can understand that a piece of steel that is thick, it's not, I wish I don't have the words I'm saying right now. Go back to the article. It'll come to us.
Beginning in 1956, the initial portion of I-95 was constructed. Sections will need substantial rehabilitation and or reconstruction, including widening from 4-6 lanes to 8 lanes in the near future, accommodate increasing traffic volumes. Georgia has already widened or is widening most of its portion of I-95 to 6 lanes from 4. In addition, nearly all the bridges
Read it again.
In addition, nearly all the bridges along the corridor will require widening or total replacement.
So they knew back in 1956 that this was going to be an ongoing process, a project. And your weak points, if you're a military man, if you are a guy that's looking to weaken America, where is the weak point of the highway? It's like I said, it's not on the ground where, okay, a truck burns on the ground, so what? You bring in a doggone heavy equipment, you put more asphalt down, put rebar in, boom, you can fix it in a day and a half. You take out a bridge in the longest, busiest highway in the entire country, you cripple shipping. And that's what we're going to read next, okay? Corridor statistics, please.
The entire I-95 corridor is 1,917 miles long, with approximately 1,040 miles traversing through urban areas.
More than half, if you take 1040 times 2 is 2080. So more than half of the miles on 95 goes through urban areas. That's why the East Coast is the most populated, and here's the proof. Read on.
Among these 1,040 miles, over 60% is currently under heavy congestion.
So more than a quarter of the 1917 miles is under heavy congestion, like a Philly, like New York, like Stamford, Connecticut, like Bridgeport, Connecticut, like give me some other names. Atlanta, Georgia, is that one of them? I think not. Yeah. Not all these cities, this is what it goes through. So it's not a coincidence that this is happening in Philadelphia, which is a major urban city, pretty much kind of centered between Maine, well, a little bit more, not too far. You got Philly is probably about a third of the way from Maine down to Florida. Read on.
The average daily traffic in the entire corridor is over 72,000, with maximum daily traffic reaching as high as over 300,000. Average daily truck traffic is over 10,000, with maximum daily truck traffic reaching as high as over 31,000.
So 31,000 loads can travel over 95. I want you to understand how this is affecting commerce in this country. Okay, it is what gets brought in trucks. You got fuel trucks, you've got food trucks, you've got agricultural trucks that transport animals, you got furniture, you've got cars that get transported. Hot shot, they bring the goosenecks with the multiple. It doesn't just affect 18-wheelers. It's also, like I said, hot shots. It's also it's tourism with these buses that go through. So all of these things are being affected. Read on.
Without any further improvements to the quarter, the projected 2035 average daily traffic would be over 133,000, including over 20,000 trucks. In addition, virtually 100% of the urban segments would be under heavy congestion. Congestion for non-urban corridors would increase from the current 26% impacted to over 55% impacted.
So people can see, if you want to weaken this country, you can mess them up with transport confusion. You cause confusion, you cause rerouting, you cause to be directly affecting their means of transportation. And this is, and also the military uses the highways as well when they send out their convoys. These things are very, very serious. Now, all that traffic in 95, what has to happen to it? It has to be rerouted through an urban area to get back on the other part of 95. This is major. This is bigger than, and this is not going to be fixed in a couple weeks. This is going to take some time. All right. Go to the next article. We're going to move on from here.
Fiery I-95 collapse puts renewed focus on critical role of interstates in American life.
Let me give you an example. We as Americans don't understand how important water is until you lose it. Be in your house and lose water for a week. See how you feel. Be in your house and lose power for a week. See how you feel. Americans don't understand, and we take it for granted. See that? Look, stop. Perfect. Oh, you can't do that. See, that's the southbound. That's the northbound. It got so, and maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that the other side was actually had to be destroyed as well. Can we go back to the first one, number one? Because if we can, I thought we saw a shot when both sides had to be.
Yeah, one side had smoke coming from the bottom, and the south was, you said southbound side?
Yeah.
The southbound side had smoke coming from the top and the bottom.
And looking at it, Cap, it's got that they like to have those cement beams underneath it. It may have compromised that other side, so you probably can't risk putting people on either side of it.
Right.
So if we can just take a look at that, and I'm building a case because all these things, what the mainstream will make you believe, just these things gonna happen. No, it's more than that.
And only oil can make, not I'm gonna say only oil, but the possibilities of a tanker melting that kind of concrete, it takes an oil tanker or some sort of hydrochloric or phosphorus acid or something like that. I was looking it up, and what can melt concrete like that? It said an oil tanker. That's exactly what that was. It was an oil tanker.
And I wonder how many times in the history of this country has an oil tanker ever done this before. There's something heavy behind this. We're going to look at the first video. We're going to look at both the north and southbound lanes because we just saw how one side was intact still. Go ahead and play that, please.
Making progress. Chopper 6 was over the site of the collapsed portion of I-95 in Philadelphia's Tacony section as plans to repair it are the top priority for transportation leaders.
This all as crews make quick work on the demolition.
This is
happening
bullshit.
tonight.
Let me tell you my language. If this was a white driver, they would not put his friggin' name up there, okay? And it's amazing how this is the face of the problem. It's more than Mr. Moody, okay? And I don't even know if it was a brother that did that. Play on.
Authorities have positively identified the victim as the truck driver, Nathaniel Moody.
Tuesday night, I'm Shari Williams alongside Gray Hall. The big story on Action News tonight is the steady work to dismantle the portion of I-95 that was charred and badly damaged in that truck fire.
And soon we could learn just how long it will be until things return to normal. Action News reporter Annie McCormick, she's live for us near the scene there in Tacony with the very latest information tonight. Annie, what's the update?
Yeah, Gray and Shari, crews made good progress today, including with the demolition of the southbound lanes. And tomorrow we could get a better idea of how long this reconstruction could take.
So if you notice, okay, what happened is, and this is, I'm telling you, it's planned. Like Officer Micah said, if it compromised the southbound lane, it's funny how you have the damage on one side, and you have to just conveniently tear up both sides of the major artery of the largest highway of the most populated area in the country. Okay, yeah, there it is right there. So you're right, they had to take down both sides. So all that traffic, look at, there's 12 lanes there, 6 on one side, 6 in another. Now that has to all funnel, get off the exit to reroute. This is not going to take no day, no week. This is going to be a very long time because you have to have engineers come in. They have to test the strength. They have to test the structural integrity of everything. This is a major, major blow. And guess what? Don't be surprised, and I pray the Lord doesn't happen, if this continues to happen. Okay, this is planned. I could be wrong. I believe this is planned. There's no way these things are happening like this, and they're just playing it off. Oh, 95 collapse. No, this should be the FBI should be investigating this. These agencies, the Department of Transport should be investigating not just Mr. Moody, so-called, but where did it come from? Who was the last people to load that tank? There should be a trip sheet. It's called a pre-check driving list, and I want to know what the seals, all of the tankers have different ways with the oil open, where they tightened all the way. All these things should be investigated, and the people that filled out it's not just Mr. Moody that loaded that. There's many other factors. I want to know when's the last time the tank was inspected. All these things should be taking place. Okay.
They're definitely DOT and the FBI or Homeland Security will be all over it because I-95 is such a major watched highway. You know, they watch everything on 95. There's a lot of trafficking that goes along on 95, illegal and legal. There's a lot of stuff that happens on 95, so that's a very important highway for just them to just blame it on a truck driver.
And not only that, also to your point, you said it takes oil to burn concrete, correct? What's the flash point of oil? Oil don't just go up like that. Not in its raw form. Is what? It's got a low flash point, like 150, something like that. Now, the more combustible stuff like diesel fuel, gasoline, stuff like that, it'll go up like that. Oil, you got to put a lot of fire to oil to get it to go up like that.
Yep, I'm about to look at that.
A co-worker of mine yesterday said they were delayed almost 4 hours because the portion of I-10 from Mississippi to Louisiana was shut down.
Damn.
And so I don't know if it was something similar or if they were just doing normal construction on I-10, but you think about I-10 being shut down for those of us down here.
Wow. Y'all got to see this, man. Y'all got to see what's going on. Is there any more articles on I-95? So this is just one thing that's happening, that the eagle's nest, where he built his nest, is being deconstructed. Okay?
Body recovered in I-95 bridge collapse wreckage. Reconstruction expected to take months.
See, now, that's the point I wanted. This is going to take months. So this is going to affect everything. That means the price of airline tickets can go up. That means the price of fuel can go up because now you have lanes that ship up. Now you're also going to burn more fuel because now you have to get off. If you plan to go 95, you got to get off in the city, go through bumper. That traffic is going to be absolutely immense just getting off the off-ramp to get back on. All these things are going to directly affect groceries. Getting from certain supply chains are going to all be directly affected, and it's going to take months. This is in our country, United States of America, well, the land of our captivity, in the most frequented highway in the United States, on the longest, most traveled highway in this country. You got to see what's going on. This is never in our lifetime we have ever heard something of this magnitude. Not just a part of the highway, the whole northbound lane, as a result of the heat and the structural integrity being compromised, they took both sides 6 lanes apiece down. This is major. Read on.
The collapse of an elevated section of Interstate 95 near Philadelphia, which came after a tanker truck caught fire beneath it on Sunday.
Now remember, these tankers are built pretty much damn near indestructible. For it to just, and we saw the video, it caught on fire within seconds. Something is going on. It's almost like maybe somebody could have set up an explosive device without Mr. Mooney knowing it, and then to purposely at that certain time, with all the technologies they have, it's almost like it was planned to right at that specific area at the specific time. Read on.
Has highlighted the critical role of the nation's 66-year-old interstate system for commuters and businesses, experts said. I-95 is the East Coast main artery stretching from Maine to Florida, and the impacted area handles more than 160,000 vehicles a day.
A day.
Pennsylvania's governor, Josh Shapiro, said it could take months to rebuild.
We just heard that. So it's going to take, when they say months, that could be 6, 7 months. We don't know how long that's going to be. Read on.
A period expected to bring commuter headaches and economic losses that occur with traffic snarls and freight delays in such major interstate closures.
Read on.
But it's just one part of a nationwide network that has both fueled U.S. growth over decades and faced mounting congestion and a backlog of needed upgrades, said Rocky Moridi, Director of Policy and Research for TRIP, a national transportation research nonprofit.
Scroll down. Okay, that's pretty much it. Is that it on the I-95? Oh, no, I'm sorry, go back there. The way that the United States, I researched this from last week, the way that the United States got the understanding to build an interstate highway was from Germany. Because Germany, up until the World War II, the way that the Nazis were able to move, by the way, the Nazis and Hitler is the devil, just as Donald Trump and George Bush, they're all the devil. So I'm saying Adolf Hitler and the Third Reich of the Germans up until World War II, the reason why they were able to be so proficient is they could move all the tanks and the battle vehicles on the friggin' highway because they built them strong enough for the payload of military personnel. That's why the U.S. got, because remember, this happened and they started making them in the 50s, right? So we're going to read about that. Read.
President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the system into law on June 29, 1956. That came after a National Advisory Committee found it would make travel safer, boost the economy, and aid national defense in case of a need to move troops or evacuate cities.
So that's one of the reasons. It was a military decision. And here we think that, oh, the highway's great. I'm going to go get off the highway, go to the mall and exit 4. No, this is designed from a military perspective. So again, it goes back to what I'm saying to you. If you are an enemy and you know that's a lane of commerce and you affect them, you can cripple economies. And that's what they're starting to do. And it's not a friggin' accident. It's not an accident when these chicken farms go up in flames. It's not an accident when a friggin' train derails and spills chemicals in the Ohio River. This is not an accident, okay? And if we think that, and we're going to go into the next part of the show, how is this happening when America messes with all these countries for decades? You don't think the children and the relatives of these people, a lot of them can come right through the freaking Mexico border, okay?
Hey, Cap, go back to that article you just had. I want that last sentence.
Pray for the IT team, y'all.
We got two brothers today. They're all right.
All right. The aid national defense. Read that.
That came after a National Advisory Committee found it would make travel safer, boost the economy, and aid national defense in case of a need to move troops or evacuate cities.
If you destroyed a portion of the highway, where can those people evacuate to if something happens?
Good point. Hell yeah.
I mean, we looking at the economic standpoint of it, which that's going to take a hit. But what if something else happens in that area? How can those people escape?
Hey, to your point, I got to go right. That's perfect segue. Get me the. I want the point about the $290 million spent on radioactive drugs. So why, this is in the news, why isn't this not being talked about? Why is the United States of America being proactive in getting radiation therapy drugs? Why would you do that? Why would you need radiation medicines? Well, you're going to tell you in a second. I don't know what article it is, real quick. Did I not send you that? Hold up. Get me Isaiah 34 real quick. I may have not sent it to you. Hang on a second. I'm going to send it to you right now. No, it's number 9. Number 9. Give me Isaiah 34. What can cause someone to want to get anti-radiation drugs? Well, I'm going to show you. Isaiah 34 and verse 1, and we're going to jump.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 1.
Come on.
Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
So Bishop Nathaniel taught a phenomenal class last week from Nazis to NASA. One of the best classes Bishop has ever taught. Shout out to Deacon Isaac bringing that letter from Oppenheimer, right? That was fire. But Bishop went into heavy stuff. Y'all, listen, go watch the class. Re-watch the class. Read it again.
For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations.
Come on.
And his fury upon all their armies.
So the reason why Oppenheimer and these men were able to create a nuclear bomb is because God is angry as hell. And he created a weapon that he used Esau and these nations to create weapons that he will use on them and protect us. Get Psalms 91 in the queue for me real quick. All right, let's finish that in Isaiah, and then we're going to jump to Psalms 91. So all the things that are happening, Esau is trying to play catch up. He's doing things like getting radioactive, and Esau's enemies say, you know what? We're going to deal with them. We're going to come in there. We're going to infiltrate them like sleeper cells. This is not a guy just kind of falling asleep behind the wheel. Mr. Mooney, I've been driving for 11 hours. I couldn't take it. No. That's not what's happening here. Okay, read.
He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Right, the slaughter. How can you deliver whole nations to the slaughter? It's not with a sword. It's not with a machine gun. It's damn not with an axe or a mace. Read on.
The slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up unto.
That's a whole lot of dead people. Get to the part where it talks about, look at 7 real quick. Remember, we're dealing with nuclear war.
Yes, sir. Verse 4. And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
So what is that? It said, all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. What could make things in the heaven melt? Well, we're going to find out. Read on.
And the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Now, if we had tech team, I don't know if we can get it, but if you look at a nuclear explosion, you've heard this before. If you've been watching IUIC, it rolls together like a mushroom cloud, and a mushroom cloud looks like Isaiah the prophet could only describe what he knew at the time. They didn't have copiers. They didn't have cell phones. They had scrolls. He said, that look right there like the heavens are rolling together like a scroll, and he's describing it prophetically with what he sees, and he's relating to things that are in his life that he can relate to it. Read on.
And all their hosts shall fall down.
So what is that talking about? The heavens. What could make something explode and destroy things to make them fall from the heavens? It's talking about a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb. Read on.
As a leaf falleth off from the vine.
Because a leaf that falls from the vine, it just comes down. It just, gravity brings it down, right? Okay? Look at that. That's a great friggin' example. It looks like a mushroom cloud, and if you look at it when it first starts, it rolls up like a scroll, okay? And that's God's anger to bring vengeance upon the nations. Read on.
And as a falling fig from the fig tree.
Right, come on.
For my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
His sword shall be bathed. That means God's weapons of war. Read on.
Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea.
And he mentions the nation of Idumea, that's Edom or Esau, which is the so-called white man today. Okay? And we got proof after proof after proof. If you've been watching us, I'm not going to get into that right now. Read on.
And upon the people of my curse.
And upon the people of his curse. So give me what I told you to get.
Psalms 91.
Psalms 91. So what we want to do, just like the three holy children, we want to be protected when this nuclear fire comes to this place. Because it's coming. It's coming. If you better start seeing the signs at a time and get our minds right. We want to be like the three holy children who walked out unscathed, man. And the dudes that was throwing stuff at the top of the fire, they were singed. Meaning they were getting burned from above, dropping it. These brothers was in the fire. And they said, who's this fourth man that's walking around amongst them? That's your forefathers. Read.
Psalms chapter 91, verse 1.
What does this mean? This means if you want to have your nuclear suit on, this is your nuclear spiritual suit on. Read.
He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High.
Why? We know we don't supposed to eat pork, shave our beards, and celebrate stupid Christmas. Read on.
Shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Right. What is the shadow of them? What does the shadow do? If you're in the hot sun, a shadow protects you from danger. A shadow is a safe place. Read on. That's why animals, and instinctively, we always go to the shade. You get out the sun, brother. You better get over there in the shade, right? Read on.
I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress.
A refuge and a fortress is a place of safety. Well, what's going to happen? Read on.
My God, in him will I trust.
Come on.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snares of the fowler.
The trap of the bird catcher, meaning what? This trap is going to catch a whole bunch of people. Read on.
And from the noisome pestilence, he shall cover thee with his feathers.
So the feathers is talking about, whenever you see a picture of I want to use because it could be a swan or a different bird, the way that they protect their youngings, if you will, is their wings protect them from danger. So the Most High is using an analogy of a parent bird protecting its young. We are the children of Israel. We are the sons of the living God. He is our Father who art in heaven. Hallowed be his name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Read on.
And under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
The laws of God are going to protect us, and we will fight with it. Read on.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night.
What is the terror by night? Read.
Nor from the arrow that flieth by day.
So hold up. What the hell is going to make a whole people seek protection, a whole people that be afraid? Because if you go to a catapult, if you took an arrow that was the size of a redwood tree, the biggest tree on earth, let's say it was the size of 18 feet in diameter, just an unrealistic huge arrow, that might kill 30 people if it was a big giant arrow that hit in the crowd. This arrow that caused pestilence is talking about an ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, which has a nuclear friggin' warhead on it, okay? That can travel across lands. Read on.
Excuse me. Nor from the pestilence that walketh in darkness.
We almost done.
Nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
So what the hell could destroy this much destruction? And it's an arrow. That's what Isaiah saw. He said, hold up. He said, that looked like a scroll rolling together. He said, damn. He just describing the destruction. Read on.
1,000 shall fall at thy side.
And here's the proof. What arrow could kill 1,000? If you standing somewhere, one arrow is going to kill 1,000 people that's around you. And watch the other side. Read.
And 10,000 at thy right hand.
That means everybody around you, you one of the elect that was chosen to survive. Everybody gonna die around you. And you put your trust in the Lord, you keep the commandments, and he's protecting you. Like that parent bird. Read on.
But it shall not come nigh thee.
How is that possible? Give me the book of Daniel. Daniel chapter, I think it's 2. It talks about the fiery furnace. It's 2 or 3, and I don't remember exactly. It just came to me. And I want to show you an example of nuclear. I'm going to show you an example of, obviously, it's not a nuclear bomb, but the fire was hundreds, if not thousands of degrees. Thousands of degrees. I want to show you this is the protection that we're going to have. So these things that are happening, hence the name of the show, the deconstruction of the eagle's nest. America is imploding both home and abroad. We are on the verge of nuclear war. You better really take heed to what's being brought out. Read.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 20.
Thank you. It is 3.
And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army.
So he didn't take hey, give me the cooks. He said, I want the most mightiest guys that's going to get this job done. What is the job? Read.
To bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Make sure them little niggas don't get loose. Bring the tough guy. Don't put the cook over there. Bind these up so when we throw them in the fire, we know that they dumb. They don't want to bow down to the musical instruments. We're going to make sure they get put to death. Read on.
And to cast them into the burning fiery furnace.
In other words, I don't want no mistakes. Send my best guys. Read on.
Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
So they tied them up and they threw them in the furnace. Is there a part where it talks about they made the fire hot?
Yes, sir. Verse 22.
Go to that.
Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding
He said, hold up, listen. These niggas over here is not bowing down. Everybody else, but these damn Hebrews is not bowing down. Listen, stoke the hell out. I want you to imagine this guy. Hey, listen. Oh, you dumb? Oh, really? These are the guys you tell me? Listen, I want the fire harder than it's ever been. I want this thing to burn like it's never been. And I want you to send my best guys to tie these niggas up so we can throw their ass in the fire. Now, I'm going to put a little drama to it. Read on.
The flames of the fire slew those men.
Wait, so you reading that? Officer Micah is reading it wrong. Read it again.
The flame of the fire slew those men.
Stop. Slew either means to maim or to destroy. That means it killed. Is that what it means? Read it again.
The flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
The flame was so hot that the top guys, he said, send my best guys. It killed them. And they was in the fire, showing you that when we are in Psalms 91 and the nukes hit, it doesn't matter how hot it gets. You're going to look over and people are going to be melting like Terminator 2. I'm telling you, y'all got to see the power of the one true God. Read on.
And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego,
the Israelites, read,
fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery
Man, they
furnace.
was in the middle of the furnace, and the other dudes, the guys that threw them, the military guys that threw them, they died. They was slain. Read on.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished.
So now the king's like, damn, that's some hot fire. My best guys died. Well, no problem. I got other guys over here that I'll throw in the next. He killed his men. His top guys, the military guys, got killed by putting the 3 holy children in the fire. Read on.
And rose up in haste.
So the king gets out of his chair like, what the hell is going on here? My guys died. Why didn't they burn the hell up right away? He got up out of his chair in haste. Read on.
And spake and said unto his counselors.
When a king speak, he's not like, hey. He's speaking to the council. What the hell is going on here? He's speaking. Read on.
Did not we cast 3 men bound?
Hold up. I saw my best guys die. Didn't we throw these niggas up in the fire? Read on.
Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire?
There's 1, 2, 3. I can count. I'm the king. Read on.
They answered and said unto the king, True, O king.
You, sire. Yes, sire. We saw the same thing you did. Read on.
He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose.
Hold up. Wait a minute. If the other guys that were outside the fire were slain from the heat, now these guys are moving around, but I see another guy in there. What I'm showing you, all of you know this history. You have to make it plain. We are going to have that power that they had. What is the power that God's going to give us? indestructibility. You can't burn. You got to wrap your mind around that. You're not going to burn, bruh. You're not going to burn. Terminator 2, when she's on the fence and a skeleton gets, that's not going to happen to you. So no matter what you go through, that's why Bishop is trying to hit us up. No matter what they do, don't let nobody take your crown. It's hard. It's easier to do. It's easier to say than do. I understand. Read on.
He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire.
Hold up. But the guys that threw him in, they got slew. They passed the hell over. These guys walking around all up in it. There's another guy with him. Read on.
And they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth is like the Son of God.
And you know what that proves? That the other nations know who Jesus the Christ was. How would he know like the Son of God? So what I'm showing you that there's a major history. Go back. I didn't mean to sidetrack, but I wanted to bring that out. Yes. So this is what Esau does. Esau, in his infinite wisdom, says, okay, we know that the things are about to go down. Let's invest almost $333 billion in a, let's read it.
The United States purchases $290 million worth of anti-radiation drugs.
Why would we need anti-radiation drugs?
When it comes to nightmare scenarios for the United States, a nuclear attack from a foreign power has to rank among the worst possible choices.
I got a question. Name one worse than that. Is there something worse than a nuclear attack on America? Let's just read on.
While the likelihood of such a strike is low,
that's not true because the Bible talks about it's going to happen. So the likelihood is 100%.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
They know it's likely they wouldn't invest
they just
$250 million for radiation medication.
That's it.
Talking about the likelihood is low. Then why are you giving all that money up to radiation medication?
Esau, I'm telling you, he's pompous hell. He really thinks that this is why we have, I had an article, I'm not going to actually dignify the show with it, but in Florida right now, there's laws where transgender that are going through transitioning may not get health care. So, and that's making news right now. This is why Trump and these guys they're rising up because they see, because a lot of these right-wing conservatives actually care about family values and care about the things that we happen to care about too. And we're going to the next thing about Trump and what's going on, civilly unrest. Let's go back to the article real quick because I'm dragging ass.
That does not stop experts from trying to prepare for any possibility, and it appears the U.S. government has taken this possibility to heart. A new report has come out showing that the Department of Health and Human Services has spent approximately $290 million to purchase the drug Nplate, which is that plat?
Nplate.
Nplate, okay. Which is commonly used to treat radiation sickness. Does that mean the United States is preparing for a devastating war ahead? According to a spokesperson from the HHS, the purchase should be seen as part of a long-standing ongoing efforts to be better prepared to save lives following radiological and nuclear emergencies.
That's a load of crap. If they was trying to prepare to save lives, why do they only have those underground bunkers for a reserve few? Why are they taking all of these precautions on the country front, but they're not telling the people? I mean, you look on the news and you got Kanye West is seen at a birthday party. Beyonce just had another concert. Floyd
Mayweather just fought John Gotti Jr.
Yeah, that makes the news. That's what's on the news in America, and yet they're investing millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars for radiation medication for a possibility that is low. Come on now.
So let's think about it. The major, and I'm going to go back, and I'm beating a dead horse for a reason. The major artery of 95 on the busiest interstate in the United States of America has a convenient oil fire that was so hot that it burned both the north and southbound lanes had to be deconstructed. Literally, in the same year and a half, we've had multiple train derailments, poisoning of river systems, all these major agricultural. Remember we saw the show we did about all the cows that just suddenly died. Hundreds of cows that just died. The price of feed is skyrocketing. Farmers are shutting down businesses. You're watching the eagle's nest be destroyed before your eyes. This is being destroyed, and it's happening this week, last week. It keeps happening, y'all.
Don't forget the orange smoke that came from Canada.
Right.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
I was
Good
just
point.
about to say
Yes.
that. To
Yes.
your point earlier, Officer Matthew. How can they evacuate if the interstate is shut down and then you have this strange orange smoke that's very reminiscent to Agent Orange, which is a chemical warfare. Because there's no forest that's going to turn the smoke orange.
That's what I was going to say. The West Coast forest fire has been burning for how long? I ain't never seen nothing on the West Coast turn orange.
Right.
Hey, all praise to the Lord. Look, we get ready to go to transition soon. Was that it on that article? Akim, how much more time we got to go on break? We got to go to break? Okay, real quick. Before we go to break, I want to touch on one other thing real quick. Let's go to article number, oh gosh, we have time for this. Yeah, let's go to number 6 and number 7, and then we're going to go to break, and then we'll transition. So we talked about the 95 act that has caused complete chaos and confusion and disorder amongst transport in this country. We also talked about the U.S. preparing for nuclear radiation. I'm not going to get to Trump, but I want to also point out that why do these Republicans why are they so concerned with border safety? I'm going to give you an example of things that they're letting you hear about. Go to number 6 and 7. Okay, watch this.
Afghan on terrorist watch list arrested at U.S.-Mexican border crossing in San Diego.
So it's not just, because this is what they say. This is what the white man says. These damn wetbacks are coming over, taking all my good jobs. Well, it's not just, and when I say wetback, that's a proverb, okay? These are Native Americans or the tribe of Issachar. These are brothers who were on that land first. Their relatives were here first. So it's not just Central Americans from Guatemala, El Salvador, and South American countries like Colombia and Venezuela that are coming up seeking refuge. It is also people from the so-called Middle East that are on terror watch list that are finding their way across the border.
Didn't they allow like 100,000 of them into the country, like when the U.S. military left Afghanistan?
Yep.
And they gave them hotel rooms.
Yep.
They give them monthly stipends. I believe food cards.
You know what's crazy? I was at the airport not too long ago, and when you're going through like the checkpoints and stuff like that to get searched, you see them. They over at the clear station with their passport, putting it in and they just walk them like right to the front. Like, yo, what the hell? I'm standing over here getting harassed. You walk this dude over here right to the front of the line.
And not only that, man, you got brothers from Haiti who is getting turned back in boats. You got sisters who really are seeking refuge from true persecution, from gang warfare that was caused, a destabilized country that was caused by the U.S., okay, that was destroyed economies and uprooted entire civilization. And then our people who are in that new war-torn, politically collapsed country seek refuge, and then they're going to allow Afghans to come over and skip all of the brothers and sisters who are been trying for years. So that's the plight of the Israelites. Play that.
San Diego, a person on the U.S. terror watch list was arrested near a U.S.-Mexican border crossing in San Diego as thousands of migrants flocked to the United States seeking asylum ahead of the expiration of Title 42.
We did a show on that about Title 42. Read on.
In a statement released to local media, Supervisor Desmond confirmed he had heard about the arrest on Wednesday, May 10th.
So this was about a month ago or so. Read on.
On Wednesday, I received word from Border Patrol officials that an Afghani on the terror watch list was arrested at our southern border.
So now, to be very clear, if one of them was caught, What about all the other ones that weren't caught? So again, Bishop Nathaniel, years ago when I came to this truth, he would, there's a scripture, I don't know where it's at, about the caterpillar. I think it's not Nahum, is it, doggone. It talks about as caterpillars. This has been going on for years. They're here. And it's not just on a visa. They're here illegally. Some are here legally. And they did not forget what you did to their forefathers. And I'm telling you, if you think all of this is just a miraculous coincidence that the oil tanker just happened to go off. No, this is planned. A lot of this is planned. And you can't do what you do and not have these other nations trying to come at you. Jeremiah 51, verse 14. That sounds, I did not have this planned. All praise to the Most High.
Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 14. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars.
Excellent. Go to verse 1 and jump back down.
Verse 1. Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon.
See, that's the point. He's going to raise up against Babylon. Read on.
And against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, and destroying wind.
So he's going to rise up. Read it again.
Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon.
He's going to raise up against Babylon. How is he going to raise up against Babylon? Read on.
And against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me.
And against of them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against God. Read on.
A destroying wind.
A destroying wind. Read on.
And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her. And
Wait, what is a destroy? How do you get a wind that destroys? What wind? You trying to tell me a little hurricane, tropical storm wind, or even a hurricane is going to destroy things? This wind is a special type of wind. Now go back to verse 14.
Verse 14. The Lord of hosts has sworn by himself.
Now we know the whole chapter is dealing with the vengeance against Babylon. Read on.
Saying, surely I will fill thee with men.
So who is he going to fill? The United States of America. Read on.
As with caterpillars.
What does a caterpillar do? It sucks the life and it forms like this cocoon. And it will eat you from the inside out. And that's exactly what's going on right now. You think all this is an accident. You think that these are just upset Americans. No, they're not. Read on.
And they shall lift up and shout against thee.
What does that mean, lift up and shout against thee? Talking about going and saying, you did these to my forefather. We ain't forgot what you did. That's what in Iran or one of the Middle Eastern countries, they flew the flag for the first time at a certain level, saying this was war. You declared war when they killed Solomon. Thank you. And hey, listen, they made a mistake, okay? And they was bragging about it. Okay, read on.
Verse 15. He hath made the earth by his power.
Now, let's just show you the great power of the Most High and how he's going to coordinate all the destruction in these last days. So go back to that article, and we're going right to break after this.
Rumors of the arrest initially began circulating on social media when Fox News reporter Bill Meglin tweeted that numerous U.S. Customs and Border Protection sources confirmed that agents in the San Diego sector arrested the Afghan national. Per multiple CBS sources, Border Patrol agents in San Diego sector arrested an Afghan national on.
So I want you to think, do you think that this guy was just carrying paperwork that said his name and all that? No, he didn't do that. He probably had a fake ID. They have a face scan software that they were able to take. It's not just a list like it was in the 70s. They're able to take that, use facial recognition software to match up on this list that they had. This is the guy. They figured it out. So my point is, if he got caught, and we're going to show you the next article, if you're catching people, what about all the ones that they catch and release? Because remember, under Title 42, before that, they were releasing them back, right? A lot of these average $40,000 workers, Border Patrol, they don't have the understanding of who to detain. They say all the brown people look alike. But there's some, he probably had paperwork, like he was getting ready to cross the border legally, and it's a hold up. and they prior facial recognition software, and they realized, no, this guy's gonna yanked his ass out the car. It wasn't like he was on taking a coyote and going under the radar. All right, now the next article, and then we're gonna move on. I think it's the next. Okay, here we go. So the last one was an Afghani. This is now a Pakistani. We're gonna read real quick.
Pakistani illegal immigrant on FBI terror list arrested at border day after Title 42 ended. Exclusive Border Patrol agents in southeastern Arizona arrested a Pakistani national.
So showing you that that first one was an Afghani, and that was in California's border. San Diego is the most southern city in California. This is in the Arizona border. What about the Texas border that is bigger than any other border? So this is two examples that I found with just a quick comprehensive search. This is just two examples that we can read about quickly. What about all the ones that they did catch and the ones that they didn't catch? There are thousands of people trying to get to this country to cause this country harm. Why do I say that? Because God said it is going to happen, and we're proving it to you right now. The eagle's nest is being deconstructed right now. Okay, so with that, thank you for that, tech team. With that, we're gonna go right to, before we go to break, we're gonna go to Officer Mikael with the Bible verses. Stick around, then we go to break, come back, Kingdom Music. Stick around, y'all. Late show. Shalom.
The streets to bring it out, they don't like that. No cap, we ain't lying, we ain't fly, yeah. A roaring lion crouching down, they don't like that. The tribe of Judah, watch us do this, we gon' fight back. Yeah, your pastor know we lying, talking about he know the scriptures like a butcher, so I keep a knife. Pull it out and cut him with his wartime and spiritual. Praying for my son and them, praying for my aunties and my uncles and my cousins.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ blessed. It's your brother Officer Mikael, and this is the Bible verses. And guess what? We got something for y'all. Something for y'all that's real irksome right about now. Go ahead, let's get into the video. Let's get right into it. This is the Bible versus pride.
We've been having a very interesting conversation about this intersection between blackness and gayness and the LGBTQIA plus community and the black community. And we were talking about Juneteenth and how that's fallen in the same month as, since it's now been recognized nationally, it's happened during the same time as Pride. And we
just
have some
stop real
differences.
quick. I'm a little bit distracted. There's not a woman sitting there. That's a man with a goatee that has a very feminine voice. It's real distracting. Go ahead, play the video. Stop at 1:30.
I know you've done a lot of work in this space, so we'd love to hear your perspective on just now that we're facing these two holidays that have national prominence during the same month. How do we navigate this?
Well, I think it's really interesting because we as black people, particularly us on the LGBTQ plus spectrum, we share identities. And so long, historically, society has said we have to pick which parts of ourselves to celebrate. And so when we look at it in the sense of we get to show up as full people who represent multiple experiences, I think it's only apt that we have a presence in all of these spaces.
And I think that's some of what we were talking about.
What a way to put it.
It all happening simultaneously. I think that you were coming from a little bit different perspective of more of why does queerness have to be interjected into Juneteenth?
And if I could add, I mean, we've always been around. We just have been
I was thinking
silently
the
so.
same thing.
And so
on
with this,
Juneteenth, we were there when they came and said, "Oh, we forgot to tell you you're free." We were there then.
we've been around. It's just now and
So, look, straight up, there would be no need for Juneteenth if it wasn't for your pride. And real quick sidebar, why your boy look like Damon Wayans Men on Film with that little hat on his head? Put that up there real quick, just that little clip. He looks, it look like Men on Film. Look like Damon Wayans. And then that is the leopard skin shirt. Obviously, that's a man with a goatee. But y'all heard him trying to sound like a woman. This confusion and abomination. Look again. Y'all can take that down. Again, there would be no need for Juneteenth if it were not for your pride. And guess what? That statement is very biblical. Can I get Leviticus 26 and 19? Leviticus 26 and 19. Let's see what the Bible says about this pride. Leviticus 26, 19.
In verse 19. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron and your earth as brass.
So he said he would break the pride of our power and make our heaven as iron and the earth has brass. That is slavery. We went into slavery because of our pride. What was the very first sin? The very first sin was idolatry. And when you read in Romans 1 and 25, it says that homosexual spirit serves the creature more than the creator. That is idolatry. But don't go there. Go to Sirach. Give me Sirach 10. Sirach chapter 10, verse 12 and 13.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 12 and verse 13.
Chapter 10.
Oh, 10.
Chapter 10, verse 12 and 13.
Chapter 10, verse 12. The beginning of pride is when one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination.
So it said, pride is the beginning of sin, and he that have it shall pour out abomination. Show that video clip one more time. Let's see the pouring out of abomination on screen. Let's get the pouring out of abomination on screen. Our people talk about Juneteenth, and now they talk about Pride Month. We would have no need for Juneteenth because we wouldn't have went into slavery if we didn't have pride. Because guess what? Like they said, when you forgot to tell us we were free, that sodomite spirit was there. That sodomite spirit was there in the very beginning. They write about that. That sodomite spirit been here. Look at this. This is the pouring out of abomination. You got Damon Wayans' Men on Film. You got this big old 6'5" linebacker with a bald head who's very effeminate, and this dude with the goatee and don't know if he want to be a woman or not, looking like Morris Day in a time. Our people need help. Matter of fact, you know what? Our people need nukes. That's what they need. Fire. Our people need fire. Thermonuclear fire. That's the only way we're going to cleanse this abomination. That's the only way the Most High knows how to cleanse this abomination. He did it in Sodom and Gomorrah. That's why this place has to go up in flames of fire. Hey, look. That's it. That's the Bible versus your pride. That's the Bible versus your pride. If it were not for your pride, there would be no need for Juneteenth. Hey, look. Y'all stay tuned after these commercial breaks for Kingdom Music, all right?
The streets to bring it out, they don't like that. No cap, we ain't lying, we ain't fly, yeah. A roaring lion crouching down, they don't like that. The driver Judah, watch us do this, we gon' fight back. Yeah, your pastor know we lie, talking about he know the scriptures like a butcher, so I keep a knife.
We gonna Zydeco in second line all day long.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. It's Officer Matthew, IUIC New Orleans, here with Officer Mikael. and we got the brothers out here, and we doing a blitz on New Orleans Zydeco Fest.
Dream team be rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price in your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty. On the block with the water, they drowning. No mercy, my hitters confounded. My weapon to shake of the block when they're knocking. The prophets don't miss when they sound it. Hey, my team rowdy. My team do a blitz every county. My God put a price in your past ahead, and I'm pulling up for the bounty.
They all learn to put y'all fringes on, man, and the Israelites is not a hate.
I really love y'all, and I respect and I love everything that y'all doing.
Aprendió de Cristo, que ustedes están representando a Cristo, como es, como viene, pues.
Ok.
Sí.
¿Qué más? ¿Qué color es Cristo?
Pues moreno. Azul,
¿De acuerdo a qué?
De acuerdo a la escritura de Apocalipsis.
Tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption.
I told TV, yeah, you see me crossing waters, landing repeat. We don't fear no plan to retreat. We cross land and sea to greet thee. We be in and out these cities, Jews on journeys, juking beatings, raised in the faith on time. We leasing landlord great, yeah, we ride on GP. We be in and out of traffic, then we gone. Government steady wondering what they did. Service, sealing service, what we own. Best believe the Father's head is here. Fear, Psalm 111 and 10. Gotta pray cause the day draw near. When he raised from the grave and them slaves don't slave. But until that day, small victories here. Like, yeah, we did that, but we not done, yeah, we won't get back.
Missing person, Christian Flowers, age 38, race, Israelite, sex male, hair color black, eye color dark, height 5'8", weight 215, last seen date 5/16/23. The Baton Rouge Police Department is searching for a man who reportedly went missing in Baton Rouge. Police said Christian Flowers, 38, was last seen on May 16, 2023 in the Sherwood area. He was wearing a green shirt and black pants, police added. Anyone with information about where he is should contact BRPD at 225-389-2000 or Crime Stoppers at 224-344-7867. Deuteronomy 28:41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Be involved in our communities. www.israelunite.org.
Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance. Cross the waters, teach our people. This is a mission. 12 tribes. Yo, we go the distance. Across the waters, teach our people. This is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide. This is redemption. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ. Bless. Pray for the perfecting people in the ICT. So, this is Kingdom Music, and y'all already know what time it is. We're going to premiere some good music for y'all because we got the righteous music. The music that you need for your spirit. All right? Leave Lil Wayne's alone. That boy losing his mind anyway. But let's see what's going on with Sons of Thunder from their new album.
World domination, always on my mind. Holy convocation, that's my type of time. Looking for salvation, better be the tribe. 12 by 12,000, can you multiply? I do not deal with these regular human beings. I just roll with the gods, they scripture slinging. Got the angels singing when the sinner repenting. They slay a demon, they know deeper meaning this life, boy. Raising up the Israelites, boy. All one in Christ, boy. But that for the 12 and nobody your vision. The law, how we make a decision. High mind, hard body prophets. God talk, got the earth rocking. Doctrine killers quit to get it popping. You'll never be able to stop it. Watch this.
12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes. In my head, dreams of Edom dying. This that Juven want that smoke. Sons of thunder, bring that fire. Yeah, I got a lot on my plate. Better be sure I'ma eat it. He told me go out to the sheep, and you better know I'ma feed them. Yeah, 12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes. You better move if you ain't got work for the kingdom. Pass me my sword so I can go ham. Porky the pig on a demon. I think twice before I speak. You know them niggas be scheming. My foundation built on a rock. Then we gon' drop it on Edom, and who would've thought we would win it? If we fell back from the Senate. Plenty oil in my lamp. But y'all like song check engine. My God black like Wesley. Why these nations keep trying to test me? I got a heart and it's full of aggression. To get them to go just like Messi. Golden gates without naming their heading. If they don't like it, be hit them. Break them to pieces and shred them. Make sure they know that it's pressure. You want the truth? Well, here's the lecture. Doctor get body, someone called a stretcher. Look for the king to come from the heavens. 12 like 1 plus 11. Gone. Yeah, 12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes. In my head, dreams of Edom dying. This that Juven want that smoke. Sons of thunder, bring that fire. Yeah, I got a lot on my plate. Better be sure I'ma eat it. He told me go out to the sheep, and you better know I'ma feed them. Yeah, 12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes.
Ooh, dry bone from the neck to the hip to the thigh bone. Ain't no valley too dry, we gon' rise on them. Mr. Body of Christ is alive, homie. Thinking you holding the secret. Cat out the bag, you can stop it, we seen it. Blacks and Hispanics were born for the kingdom. You tried to mislead them lies that you tell, it's gon' cost you your freedom. We want the smoke, we challenge your boots on the ground. We alive and we standing up. Today I got time, we pressing you. We ain't gon' stop and get tired, we got stamina. How you gon' stop what we know? My people been mad, they won't smoke. This get back gon' keep us afloat. And these scriptures is murder, she wrote. Whoa. Used to be blind, now I can see with my mind. Scriptures, they open my eyes, and now it's just pressure. My people about it, we really out here, the promise, go let you know. We got next, we the best, we won't roll. How they gon' stop us when we got the ghosts? Holy smokes.
Yeah, 12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes. In my head, dreams of Edom dying. This that Juven want that smoke. Sons of thunder, bring that fire. Yeah, I got a lot on my plate. Better be sure I'ma eat it. He told me go out to the sheep, and you better know I'ma feed them. Yeah, 12 by 12, Israel on the rise. Represent this one for the tribes.
Bruh. So look, y'all know what it is. That Sons of Thunder. Go get the album, originalroyalty.com. All right. Get the album. It's fire. You can ride to it. You can vibe to it. You can play it around your kids. Yeah, this is music you can play around your children. All right. You can play this music around. This ain't to put the kids to bed music. All right. This is the righteous music that Israel need. All right. If you meditating on the word constantly, this music should help you to uplift your spirit on a day-to-day basis. All right. So support and always remember, stay in the spirit.
Yo, we go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes worldwide, this is redemption. Yeah, this is redemption. This is redemption. We go the distance, across the waters, teach our people, this is a mission. 12 tribes.
Hey, welcome back, Israel. Most High and Christ bless. Shout out to all the original royalty artists. The music gets better and better and better. All praises. So let's go. The second part of the show, we are going to look at what's happening abroad. The name of the show is the Eagle's Nest Deconstructed. Put the doggone thing up. I'm tired. Put the thumbnail up real quick. Deconstruction of the Eagle's Nest, Instability, Home and Abroad. So the first half of the show, we showed you some instability, both with the I-95. We showed you about the radioactive drugs that the U.S. is ordering. We showed you that terrorists have been caught coming into this country. And also, I don't have time to get into it, but y'all have seen what's going on with Donald Trump, okay? There's an organization called Magna. And what they're doing is, on social media, they're calling for a civil war. A lot of these right-wing conservatives, they're not playing any games. You saw what they did last January. So there's proof that they can do it again. And because of obviously, y'all know that there's the left and the right. The left is the Democratic Party. The right is the conservative Republicans. And that's all part of the same damn serpent, okay? But they are, the Esau is upset with they say, this country's going to hell in a handbasket. This is terrible. It's not the same country my father said it was going to be. And you see what now you have people that are teaching, drag queens are coming in the classrooms and reading stories to elementary school children, and you as a father can't do anything about it. This country is, and these right-wing conservatives who believe in the white family structure, they ain't taking this laying down. So that's another front where this country is being destabilized, the Eagle's Nest. Now, let's go to, we ain't got time for Trump. We're going to move, I wanted him, but let's move on to the next, which is, I put the second half of the show. Let's go right to that. We're going to go in order and, okay. Y'all pay attention. Get me, while we wait for that, give me 2nd Esdras real quick. 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 1, and then jump to 21. So how do we know that America is being destroyed? What are some other signs? Well, when you go to history, Rome fell because it was an age of decadence. The military was super strong. It created a lush, lavish society. Food was cheap. And then when you have a society that is well protected, then you have all type of art, and art and the theater is there and all these different things. And then you get the degradation of moral values. And that's what happened with the Roman Empire. And then what happened in Septimius Severus, they rose up, and you read about 193 AD. But Rome ruled for hundreds of years. America is now in the age of decadence. These international leaders laugh at America. They got a guy that's falling down, can't stand up straight, falling asleep, and they got a so-called, she's not a black sister, American black. Then you got a woman who is the vice president of the United States. Now, listen, we love our sisters, not, no disrespect to women, but internationally, they see us as very weak, okay? And they say, Africa say, here you are, you're worried about us. If I go to a mall in America, I can get shot. More mass murders, more mass shootings happen in Walmart. They happen in schools all the time. It doesn't happen like this in many other countries. Okay, play. Yes, scripture first.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16, verse 1.
And then when you get the other thing, we're going to move on.
Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia.
So this is talking about Babylon, destruction. Why? Remember we read in Jeremiah, same thing, right? Read on.
Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria.
Now, obviously these were times in history, but today Babylon is called Sodom and Egypt when you read in Revelation. So jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. Like as an arrow which is shot.
21.
Verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be sold good cheap upon
What are
earth.
victuals? Victuals are food products. It's amazing. You can go to McDonald's and get a $3 bundle where you get a double cheeseburger and a fry for $3. And you can get it damn near 24/7. Victuals are cheaper. They got a thing called Dollar General, the dollar store. For $5, you can get a whole damn meal. You can get about 12, 13, 1,400 calories for $5. You can survive out here in America. Read on.
Behold, victuals shall be sold good cheap upon earth.
Hey, this is good stuff. And that's why we're the most, last week in the Lard back attack, McLean, Texas is the fattest city 6 years in a row. Anytime you have an obese society, there's a lot of food. Read on.
That they shall think themselves to be in a good case.
Everything's I read. That's why they have you blind and stupid. Instead of focusing on what happened in 95 and what's happened in BRICS, what's happened in international, they give you Floyd Mayweather with John Gotti. They give you these stupid things like Beyonce and these rap music and things that are not of no concern to us. Read on.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
And even while victuals are cheap, you think nothing's going to happen to you. Even then, evils. Read it again.
And even then shall evils grow upon earth.
How are evils growing on the earth? Right now, you're talking about a civil war in America. You're talking about there are transgender people who have literally changed their God-given gender, and now they're fighting with getting health care for a procedure that went against God. These things are going on right now in this country. You got mass shootings. You got people getting. 2 weeks ago we did a show where brothers are waiting at the bus to go to their destination after they legally crossed the border. They were being held to be transported, and a damn SUV plowed in. We saw the brother's leg was off. These things that happen. This country is evils are multiplying in the earth. Evils. If you want to talk about the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman, you get demonized for celebrating what God said. It's amazing. Read on.
Sword, famine, and great confusion.
Sword, famine, and great confusion. This is what is going on right now here in the United States of America. Let's get that article. We're almost done, y'all. We're not keeping you late.
A lot of Americans still have that NATO treaty construct.
So pause real quick. This is the same guy we played last week at the BRICS, not the summit, but the pre-summit. He was saying about how there needs to be a new policy on world affairs, right? So this is from the Hindu Times of the YouTube version. He's the affairs minister. Read on.
The reality is that is not a template that applies to India.
So here's the point. So that, and there should have been more to that, but we're going to move on. The India's base, they were actually invited to be part of NATO. Like, hell no. Why would we want to join NATO when we are the I in the acronym BRICS? And we're going to show you something in 2 articles from now. Remember we talked about before how that the European Union will be broken apart. Germany was having talks, the 4th largest economy in the doggone planet Earth, the biggest in Europe, and how they were not all on one accord in the decision making on the new Russians, the 11th series of sanctions on Russia. Remember, they had 10 whole sections of sanctions. Go to the next video or article, excuse me. Yes. So that's one thing internationally where they're trying to say, I tell you what, India, we'll give you a plate at the table, come to NATO, we'll make sure you're good. India's like, no, we don't need you. Showing you that the eagle's nest abroad is, they don't have the reach they used to have, okay? Now we're going to go back. Last week we covered it. Let's look at the de-dollarization of America. This is a video where American banks acknowledge
signs of
America.
Can we
His influence is being tested on another front, currency. The de-dollarization campaign. It's a real thing now. Even American banks can't ignore it. JP Morgan, it is one of America's leading banks. The bank has recognized that the domination of the dollar is under threat.
Pause real quick. The reason why I brought this is because last week we did the show on this. And this is now, since last week, you've got banks who are saying that, and she's going to tell you, and she's going to list a major bank who is saying, no, it's true. And they're telling you that they're giving you information that they realize, the American banks realize that the dollar is losing its value. Play on.
Has put out an assessment. Listen to this. Some signs of de-dollarization are emerging. This trend is likely to persist. That's what JP Morgan said. The bank believes there is no near-term threat to the greenback's domination. But there is a clear trend developing. Listen to this now. Again, this is from the same JP Morgan assessment. It says, de-dollarization is evident in FX reserves, where USD share has declined to a record. FX is foreign exchange reserves, the money that central banks around the world keep in their reserves.
Do you hear that? FX is Federal Reserves that foreign banks keep in their. Rewind it again. Yeah, and this goes back to the 1970s when under President Richard Nixon that they took away the gold standard of the dollar and began with the Federal Reserve to print money with no actual asset to back it up, no collateral. Okay, this is where they print money. They just print money and then just go devalue other people's money and start a war, send a Jacqueline. I'm telling you, this place right here, there's no wonder why all these caterpillars are here. Y'all got to really see if you take a step back and just try to process. She says it fast, but there's so much being said. Rewind it again.
Dollarization is evident in FX reserves, where USD share has declined to a record. FX is foreign exchange reserves, the money that central banks around the world keep in their reserves.
Pause.
We have covered.
So remember, the whole thing in Saudi Arabia, the pact, as long as the US dollar had to be used for all transactions with oil trade, that's what gave the US their power. OPEC has nothing to do with the U.S. That's when they changed the oil rate. That's why the U.S. pulled back from Saudi Arabia. Then we see now Saudi Arabia in August of this year is trying to become a member of BRICS. This is going on in the weeks and months to come, y'all. What she's saying is that the dollar is weakening and the federal exchange that these international banks keep of the dollar is losing value. Rewind it one more time. Some of you at home did not, maybe you didn't see it.
Listen to this now. Again, this is from the same JP Morgan assessment. It says, de-dollarization is evident in FX reserves, where USD share has declined to a record. FX is foreign exchange reserves, the money that central banks around the world keep in their reserves. We have covered the reasons for that in the past as well. The international sanctions and the restrictions on trade. Countries are trying to find new ways. They want to work outside the current system.
Pause. And that's the whole point of BRICS. They want to work outside of the grasp of the white power structure. That's when I say white power, I'm talking about the United States and European Union. Now, Russia with China, with India, Brazil, South Africa, and all the 19 emerging markets or countries rather that want to be a part. They want to do away with the dollar. Last week on the show, we talked about the bank, the BRICS bank. Y'all, this is happening in 2023. This is happening right before your friggin' eyes. That's why you can't put stock in, you can't get comfortable here. Keep your bills low. You don't need a friggin' new car. Some of us are going to have to, some who have more are going to, we're going to have to, Acts 2 and 4 is going to happen. Some brothers are going to have to, who have more, are going to have to help those in need. This country is falling a friggin' apart. Okay? This is serious. Play on. We almost done.
Dominated by the dollar. Usually, that means trading in their native currencies. China has been pushing the yuan for bilateral trade. India, too, has an arrangement with Russia, the rupee-ruble mechanism. India and Russia are using their own currencies to make payments. Instead of the dollar or the euro, alternative currencies.
So why is that important? If India and Russia are starting to make their own payments and not use the dollar, those are the two of the three major countries in BRICS. If they can set the lead, then what's to stop the other 19 countries when they join to move away from the dollar? What does that mean? If the dollar's worth less internationally in the global market, that means you have less buying power. You here, you sitting at home right now, and you put your trust in Walmart. What happens if an orange goes up to $5 for one orange? What happens when the price of gas doubles, like it did in 2008, when you had to choose, do you put gas in your car or do you pay your friggin' light bill? A lot of us was there. This is, remember what the hell happened with COVID? You couldn't find toilet paper. You couldn't find meat. They set you up in 2020 for it. They're about to drop something on you, man. When this thing pops off, like it's going to pop off, things are going to hit the fan. Matter of fact, get Acts chapter 2. You better, if you are Bible believers, you brothers who have money, save your doggone money. You brothers that have lands, keep things ready. All of us should keep our bills low. Live below your means. So when happens, some who have more, you're going to have to do more to help us. We're going to have to help each other. Acts chapter 2, verse 41, please.
The book of Acts chapter 2 and verse 40.
We almost done.
Verse 41. Then they that gladly received his word were baptized.
Right, and we all gladly received this word. Read on.
And the same day.
How were we baptized? It wasn't with the water. Oh, shoot, we're not supposed to keep Christmas? I got to have a beard on my face? Wait a minute, I can't eat pork? You telling me that the full moon is something that is not demonized by a werewolf, that is a day and a sign for me and my people? Read on.
There were added unto them about 3,000 souls.
And as times get worse, the Lord is going to use these tough times to what? Draw more people to this truth. And it's going to happen. Read on.
And they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine.
And those that believe, guess what? Who are the acts of the apostles today? Bishop Nathaniel, Bishop Kenai, Bishop Yawasa, Bishop Kenai. These are the apostles of today's time. And we're going to continue with what we learned from our elders. Read on.
Doctrine and fellowship.
And the bishop has always taught us unity. What's the new thing? Unity. Unity. He's always taught us to continue together. Read on.
And in breaking of bread and in prayers.
And when we were in the wilderness, when we were in the time of the Maccabees, we were in the time of the judges, we was all together. We lived around each other. And it's going to get a point where your capitalistic dreams and your it's not going to work. Not everyone's going to be able to live in a separate apartment or house. We're going to be forced to live together, forced to work together. You simple capitalist mindset. Read.
And fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles.
You're going to see the Lord going to show us some things in this next year. We're showing you on the show what's going on right now. We showed you last week. Bishop just dropped the bomb. The class from Nazis to friggin' NASA. What is going on? America's nest, the eagle's nest, is being broken apart, man. Read on.
And all that believed were together and had all things common.
What does that mean? We're going to have to work together. In meaning, we're going to have to be unified truly. Yo, this brother ain't got no food. He got 7 kids. Yo, he lost his job and his wife's not working. What you going to do? What are we going to do? Read on.
And sold their possessions and goods.
Why would, if you all believe, why would someone have to sell their possessions if it's obviously that brother had more, the sister had more to help others? He gonna tell you, read on.
And goods, and parted them to all men, and every man had, as every man had need.
What's that word?
As every man had need.
There's gonna be a necessity of food, basic things that we are not going to be able to provide for each other. Because if, let's say, for example, you lose your job and now a bunch of, you may not be able to find work. So we're going to let each other starve? Well, those brothers who may have millions of dollars, who just sitting on it, you're going to have to help. You're going to have to sell something to help your brothers. Some of you brothers got 50 acres of land, 20 acres of land. You're going to have to do something. I pray the Lord put it in the spirit of all of us to roll like this. This is happening. Read on. I know it's a little grave, a little serious conversation tonight, but it's not nothing to play with. Go back to the article. We're almost done.
This trend. Central banks are stocking up on gold too. 2022 was a record year for gold purchases. Last year, central banks bought over 1,000 metric tons of gold. the highest
Pause
since
real quick.
record-keeping.
Look up the word metric ton. Now, I want you to understand something. Why is Russia, India, China, and these other markets, countries, why are they beginning to purchase commodities such as gold and fine metals? Why? Because when they transition to the new currency, in order to trade in that, you have to show that you have reserves in this. They're going back to what the U.S. went away from, is a gold and a precious metal standard to back up their money. Okay? What is a metric ton?
Metric ton. A unit of weight equal to 1,000 kilograms, 2,205 pounds.
So a regular ton is 2,000. Type up a regular ton. What is a ton? I believe a ton is 2,000 pounds. So a metric ton is quite a bit more, another 205 pounds more.
Ton. The unit of weight equal to 2,000 pounds.
So it's about 205 pounds more. So it's another fifth of a ton more. Okay, if you divide 1,000, you get 200 rather. All right, go back to that. Yes, we're the East Indian woman.
Began in 1950. So which central banks are behind the surge in gold purchases? Again, some familiar names top the charts: Russia, China, and India. Central banks in these countries are beefing up their gold stocks. But how big are these reserves? What do the numbers say? I have some data. Earlier, gold had an 11% share in central bank reserves. Now this number has shot up to 15%. So there's an increase, but the dollar still remains dominant. 58% of the reserves with central banks around the world are of the greenback.
So don't let that figure. 58% is obviously more than half, but it's a 20-year low. Remember, we had the CPA on the last 2 weeks. She said in the European economy is going to continue to fall even worse. So what happens when that percentage gets to 49%? That means now that the dollar is not the majority, and it's happening right before our eyes. So I just want us to see what's going on in the world, and this is something that, why are the mainstream media talking about this? They're talking about things that are trivial, that are not important, and they flood you with stupid entertainment to get your mind off what's really going on in the world, all right?
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
When, like you said, what happens when that number goes from 58 to 49? That's when Esau goes back into Esau mode.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He starts attacking. He starts being violent. He goes from being a businessman to handling business. And then that's when the wars start off.
Hey, you know what this shows? This shows that America is an extension of Rome in more ways than one. Because when the Roman Empire collapsed, they started with inflation and they started printing more money.
Right.
That was backed by nothing. Sound familiar? They were importing foods from foreign countries. They started relying more on service industries more than production industries. Sounds real familiar. It's just showing you that the more things change, the more they stay the same.
That's a fact. History is bound to repeat itself. And remember, when you hear people say all the time, damn, made in China. Almost everything, if you look in your house, if you look at even food products, a significant percent, I would argue 2/3 or more of the things that you have in your house are made in China. And just to prove, maybe I'm wrong, go look at some of the tags. Look at some of the things that you have and see if it's made in China or perhaps Taiwan.
Yep.
So these are things that what you said, Upsmika, is a fact. Look, we're gonna close the show out here. We're making good time. We're gonna go to a short section next for the Lard back attack, where we show tough love and have a little bit of a laugh or two. Stick around. We're going to Lard back attack. Hey, shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to the Most High because despite the humor, despite us getting on brothers that are overweight, obese, and morbidly obese, there are a lot of shining examples of brothers who are changing their health. And I want to give a shout out. I spent some time with Fat Mark, called Fat Mark to his face. I vehemently clowned him to his jubilee, his joy. I love that brother. Very proud of him. Fat Mark he used to remember, hey, Mark, shout out to your brother. He used to get weighed on an industrial post scale. He used to have to walk and waddle up the scale and get weighed and then walk down the scale. They use that to weigh cows and other farm animals. That's not a joke. Fat Mark weighed 580 pounds. It just was hanging out with Fat Mark over the weekend, this past Sabbath, and Fat Mark is actually down to 327. So Fat Mark has lost over 250 pounds. And Fat Mark's goal is to get down to 300 pounds. I think Fat Mark said by dedication or maybe tabernacles. So we have examples of brothers doing really excellent work. And I'm not going to give up on that brother. I want him to finish and be an example that I know that he can be. All right. So get me Sirach. I'm just like this stupid, dumb next holiday that's coming up is Father's Day, right? Or maybe it's past. I don't even know. Then you got the 4th of July coming up, and they keep reminding you every year. They start advertising right now in the stores, the red, white, and blue, the coolers, everything going on sale. I'm going to keep reminding you about health. Read.
The book of Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 25.
Come on.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
If you are cheerful and you got a mind to keep God's laws, a good heart, according to Romans 7, the good is the commandments. If you got a commandment, a heart, a mind that's after the commandments, you are going to apply the biblical laws and sub-laws on eating and health and good state of body, and you're going to lose the weight. Okay? Read it again.
A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
Right. A care of his meat, meaning your food, and also more specifically, actual physical meats within that food. And your diet is your discipline. So America has taught us, again, I'm gonna be a damn broken record. Breakfast, friggin' brunch, lunch, snacks, dinner, then you got dessert. And that's what a lot of you eat. Who the hell taught you that? Okay? I know many brothers, we eat one time a day. And it's more healthy for you. And throughout the day, you can drink teas, waters. You can have a little bit of Himalayan pink salt. You can have a little apple cider vinegar, lemon water, no sugars, no none of that. And then eat your meal when you want to eat it. And watch what happens to your blood pressure. Watch what happens to your weight. Watch what happens to how you feel. Okay? So I'm just letting y'all know. Is that it? Okay, now, not yet. Hold on. Get me Sirach 31, verse 15.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 31 and verse 15. Judge of thy neighbor.
You ever notice why God kept repeating himself in the Bible over and over? Hear, O Israel, if you keep my commandments. If you break my commandments, it's throughout the whole Bible. Even the book of Revelation. Blessed are they that do his commandments so they may enter into the tree of life. It's throughout the whole Bible. It started with a rebellious woman and a man that was weak to his woman because they broke the 2 laws he said. Don't touch the fruit and don't eat. That was the 2 laws he gave them. Okay, read on.
Judge of thy neighbor by thyself and be discreet in every point.
So we got to be discreet and use discretion when we eat. And here's the problem. This is the elephant in the room that I'm addressing indirectly, but it starts to the men. And I'm going to say this as nice as I can. We got a problem with brothers, but the biggest problem in IUIC and in the black community is our women. That's the biggest problem. And unless you men get off your ass and lose the weight, you're never going to fix the sisters because they can just point to you and say, you do it. It's time to stand up, y'all. Read on.
Eat as it becometh a man.
Come on.
Those things which are set before thee.
So every man has a choice to make. He controls what's set before him, whether he's married and his woman cooks for him, his wife, whether he orders a restaurant, whether he cooks for himself. Read it again.
Eat as it becometh a man.
So men have to be the leaders. Eat as it becomes a man. Read on.
Those things which are set before thee.
Those things that are set before thee means someone's either serving or getting served, right? Read on.
And devour not.
And don't be a damn pig, okay? Stop eating like a wolf. Read.
Least thou be hated.
And that's what we about, and this but to change the beat of the show up. Now I'm going to clown the hell out the Lard back. Read on.
Leave off first for manners sake.
And you don't need to eat all the time. You don't need to eat so damn much food. Read on.
And be not unsatiable.
Come on.
Least thou offend.
Right. And you offend the hell out of me. Because why the hell you in formation, you out there at camp, and I'm worried about you passing out. Now I got to change my whole thing for you. You unhealthy. And you don't care about your brother? You don't care. You are a liability to your brother. A liability. The scriptures say that we have to endure hardness as a good soldier. Here I'm a soldier with you, and you go friggin' 100 pounds overweight next to me. You crazy? You ain't no damn soldier. A soldier says, damn, I'm weak here. I'm gonna fortify myself. How am I fortify? I gotta lose 100 pounds. Well, what does a warrior say? I need to find other men that did this. I'm gonna go seek them out. Yo, brother, what did you do? Yo, as a soldier, I'm weak. How did you lose 111 pounds? What do I have to do? Here, brother. And a good soldier going to return the favor. And then he's going to help that brother fix himself. And every one of you have no excuse. You can lose the weight. A lot of you, I'm telling you, you weak. You weak brothers. And I tell you this in your face. Okay, read on.
When thou sittest among many, reach not thine hand out first of all.
We almost done. Now let me just say this. So that's the tough part. The number one killer of black men in America is heart disease. How do you get heart disease? When you become obese, you have what they call visceral fat around your organs. What happens is eating all the processed foods, the processed carbs, the excess of meats, what happens is your arteries begin to calcify and build up with plaque, which increases your blood pressure. Think of a fire hose. In order to get through a small channel, you have to increase pressure. As you increase pressure, that gives you a much greater risk for both a heart attack or diabetes or a stroke. And if you brothers don't fix this, you're going to be, I heard about last week, one of the captains talking about, brother, man, pray for this brother. We've been talking to this brother for years. Some of you brothers, you learned the hard way. You don't have to learn the hard way. Fix it now. And then I'm going to tell you right now, and this is why I'm not going to feel guilty about nobody. If you don't fix yourself, how can you sit there and try to fix your wife? And then when something happens, and I'm not speaking to nobody in specific. I'm speaking to all of y'all out there. Something happened to your wife, you're gonna feel guilty as crap. You wasn't man enough to stand up and friggin' fix it. You mark my words. Okay, read on.
A very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured.
Very little is sufficient for a man well nurtured. Eat as it becometh a man. Men gotta change their health. Women are too weak. They're too damn weak. Now there's a couple of sisters that are out there and they've done it. All praise to the Lord. Shout out to you sisters that do that. We must take the fat bullets out the gun. We must fix our health first so then we can focus on the elephant in the room. And that's the obesity reign of the black American woman. It's ridiculous. So now, change your gears now. Now I get to have fun. I did my doggone serious speech. Pull the first video. Now, what do we have here? You're not allowed to call them, and I mean this seriously. That is not a midget. That is a little person. I've heard other people say vertically challenged. Now, the Lardback can amuse interest in many walks of life. And by the way, just this guy actually died. I saw multiple reports, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I believe that he did pass away, and I think he's in his 30s. I believe, and I could be wrong, I believe it was something to do with his heart. He is absolutely morbidly obese, and to be a young man. So we're going to watch the Lardback, show his creative talents.
Yes, yes, yes.
Notice how the Saudi Arabian midget, the Saudi Arabian short person is amazing. He said, what the hell's going on here? I've never seen a Lard back dance like that. Now, today is dance night because we're not going to stop there. We have multiple videos. Now, no one ever said that Lard backs can't get down. Because I'm going to show you a Lard back that gets down like nobody's business, but they look terrible doing it. It makes you want to throw up in your mouth, but they got moves. The Lard backs can dance too. I will not deny that at all. Bring forth the dancing fat bear. What's this? Hey, she about, smooth about $125 overweight. She's morbidly obese. She's probably a smooth 350. Play. I want to, hey, Paul, let's commend the Lard back. Because this Lard back is getting down. And this is, I think she might be, I don't know if she eat them, but nonetheless, she may not be eat them, but she's definitely eating. And that Lard bear is just, I want to give, again, a shout out to the production maker of that sneaker line. Because I'm going to tell you something. Those sneakers are some, hey, give that man a prize. She's getting down. Watch the Lard back. I just want to point something out that the people that are skinny look a lot better doing that. And I don't, and this, by the way, this is the Lard backs that can do this are like 1 in a million Lard bears that can do this. So, by the way, I wonder what her heart rate is after that. And, what is her blood pressure? So these are things that, and by the way, you lard asses that say, see that's why the National Association, the NFFPP is so important because fat people are great and they have bullshit. The bottom line is, okay, there's 1 in a million Lard backs that can dance like that. When she goes home, she's drowning herself in a Ben and Jerry's, crying herself to sleep because she looks like a disgusting, well-gutted Lard back when she falls asleep. Okay? Now, did it stop there? It does not stop there. Now, we're going across the border. We're going to the Saudi Arabian Lard back, a young Lard back. His father tried to set him straight. But the Lard back is resilient. Play on.
To my father that I want to dance. So my father took me to a dance class. The dance teacher told, he's so fat, how he can dance. So he put me in the last row of the dance class. I was standing and seeing what I can do. So early in the morning at 4 o'clock, I went to the field. Because if I went at 7 o'clock, all the people saw me and laughed. So
Pause. So Lard backs know their place. He's like, if I go at 7 o'clock, all the others people of my race are going to clown me and say, what is that Lard back doing out there so early in the morning? Who the hell let him out, okay? He should be running around the field, okay, and given 1 meal a day. Now, the Lard back is going to tell you, I am for the national advancement of the Association of Fat People. And he is a proponent of fat rights. Okay, no, hey, if you want to be fat, great, but don't push it on me. Play.
Nobody was there, so I can practice on my own in the field. And there I practice splits, backflip, all the things. And I said to all the children and the world that fat people can dance.
Yes, they can, my friend.
Pause. It doesn't stop there because I thought the video ended here. Now we will see the Lard back in front of millions of people start to do things that only very few Lard backs can do. Okay, and by the way, this young boy is not healthy. You children at home, you should not ascribe to look like that. Okay, it's disgusting and terrible. Play on.
Fat people can.
Okay. So we went to a Middle Eastern so-called Lard back. Now I'm gonna bring it home to the American black women. I save the Some of you gonna get mad right now. Some of you sisters, why you gotta pick? Because I picked on the Edomite, and picked on the damn Middle Eastern. Now I'm bringing it right back to Judah. And we can't say a damn thing because most of you brothers are doggone overweight your damn selves. How you gonna fix this? How you gonna fix the? And maybe they're Africans. I don't know. Nonetheless, they're disgusting. Play on. Pause, I want to correct myself. I don't believe that these are black American. I believe that these may be African women. They may be our people, but they're definitely Americanized because African women shouldn't look like that. It's disgusting. Okay? They're all damn obese. Play on. Okay, pause. That's all I wanted to show you. Now, real quick, at this part, I don't want to show the rest of that because I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get up from that. Also, that there's the tennis court is going to find them because there are fissure cracks that will probably be forming after, which will screw up the tennis practice for ripped individuals. So with that being said, here's the deal. You brothers and sisters at home, you can lose the weight. How do you do it? Talk to your doctor first. Healthy keto. Try 1 meal a day. Here's an example of a healthy keto meal. A bunch of cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, spinach, your different cruciferous vegetables, maybe a piece of salmon. You can have some hard-boiled eggs, and for dessert, some low-sugar berries. You get all the nutrients and vitamins and minerals you need, predominantly plant-based and very low on carbs, except the net carbs from vegetables and low-sugar fruits. If you do that, and drink nothing but water and things that are non-caloric drinks like water, black coffee, tea. If you do that consistently, all the weight will come, every single one of you. You choosing not to. So with that, I'm Captain Shem with Lard Back Attack. And by the way, if you're fat, it's your damn choice and your friggin' fault, not mine. Shalom. I want to let everybody know that in the comment section, some people say, you guys are a little bit rude. Like we have some of the brothers on, when they read off, we say, this guy sucks. We do it in jest. We don't hate our people. And when we get on brothers that are overweight, it's not like you're blind. Like that's not your fault if you was born blind, if you were born with cerebral palsy. You were born a normal person and you gain 100 damn pounds. It's your damn friggin' fault. And I'll talk about you all the hell I want to. And you choose to do that. So lose the weight, okay? And then we don't talk about you no more. So we getting ready to roll out? All right, so we're going to go to Give Alms.
Hey, Israel, give alms. Hey, if y'all want to continue to see shows like this, give alms to iuic.neworleans@israelunite.org. Help us improve the show. Also, give alms to your local schools. Help keep the lights on. Also, give alms to the Booster Club at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org so we can continue to push this truth to the four corners of the earth. Hey, also, don't forget about the land fund. We want our own so we don't have to worry about having curfews or being invaded by, outsiders, and we can enjoy our feast days with our family as long as we want. Make sure when y'all donate, do it via PayPal, put land in the notes, and the email that you're going to send that to is Israel@israelunite.org. Again, make sure y'all label that land.
All praises. Thanks for sticking with us. The late show. It's midnight. All praise to the Most High. Tune in tomorrow. You know the drill. Tomorrow is the Friday night lineup. We are precept upon precept. And with that, we say
Shalom. Shalom.
Judah blood. I see. Look, I see mansions in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming